in the heart of a war-torn realm where the very ground quaked with the echoes of battle, two extraordinary young women, Elara and Leora, stood as the last flickering flames of hope. Their kingdom, once a beacon of prosperity, now lay in ruins. Its majestic walls had been breached by an enigmatic force, and strange army from the sea that bore no name but had only one purpose: total destruction. Elara was the daughter of fallen royalty. She carried the weight of her lineage upon her shoulders. Her eyes held secrets older than time, and her spirit blazed with a determination that defied her youth. Across the blood-soaked battlefield, Leora was born of humble origins, the daughter of servants, with courage that rivaled the fiercest of warriors, and her ability to commune with nature was uncanny. Amidst the chaos of destruction, two young women found themselves locked in a bitter feud. Blame echoed between them, and atop a wind-swept hill, their destinies converged in a clash of steel. From dusk till dawn, they wove a deadly waltz of war, neither yielding, neither breaking. Victory remained elusive. But then, in a moment of shared desperation, Elara and Leora locked eyes. Their gazes held more than defiance. They glimpsed the futility of their rivalry. "I am not your enemy," cried Elara. Leora's concession followed. "No, Elara, you are not the enemy." In the shadow of impending doom, the two forged an unlikely pact. It was an alliance born in desperation. From the smouldering remnants of their fallen kin, they rallied a ragtag army. They welcomed old, the young, the wounded, all united by a singular purpose: to defy fate. Elara's wisdom became their compass, mapping the treacherous terrain. Leora's bond with the land revealed hidden paths, the whisper of leaves, the coalition with the animals. Together they laid traps for the enemy, not with cruelty, but with cunning. Their hard work paid off when they ensnared a fierce commander and his men. But Elara and Leora defied convention. Instead of brutality and retribution, they offered them kindness. The soldiers were fed, and their wounds tended to by gentle hands. Perhaps there was another way to wage war, a way that didn't devour souls. The captive commander's name was Merrick. He was a brave and seasoned leader who had led the invasion. Knowing this, Elara sought him out. Daily, she would question him. At first, he laughed at her attempts to extract information, but seeing her resolve day after day, he finally spoke. Merrick saw the pain in the young woman's eyes, and the more they spoke, the more he felt stings of confusion, regret, and something else distant that he did not understand. Merrick's top soldier and friend was Dar, a great archer. They had fought in many battles together. Dar had noticed a change in his commanders and friends. When he inquired, Merrick shared his doubts about their newest campaign. Dar was alarmed, as Merrick never wavered, never had doubts in any of their battles together. Dar vowed to learn more. In hushed stillness, Dar listened. He observed the villagers and especially the raven-haired Leora. From the concealment of the shadows, her serene countenance, unwavering courage, and respectful interactions left an indelible impression, but not just with him, with the other soldiers as well. As the days passed, murmurs of dissent rippled through the captive soldiers. Together, they confided in Commander Merrick, revealing that their captors had not treated them with hostility, but with unexpected kindness, even taking food from their own plates to feed them. Commander Merrick, battle-hardened and accustomed to justifications, faced an unprecedented situation. He was a soldier, not a butcher. The villagers, with their defiance of kindness, shattered the usual patterns. The revelation struck like lightning. This conflict wasn't about a noble cause or strategic gain. It was a sinister dance of evil, hate, subjugation, and unbridled expansion. Elora and Leora, once staunch defenders of their cause, now stood at a crossroads. The commander and his men, impassioned and repentant, vowed to protect the village against an impending force. Elora's wisdom recognized the need for defectors, and an alliance was forged. The soldiers trained the villagers, strategies sharpened, and insights gained. When the enemy moved once more, swords clashed, and light wrestled darkness. Undeterred, the enemy pushed forward. But Leora and Dar had a secret weapon. A horde of black ravens, their eyes fixed on the foe, blackened the sky, and from the forest, a menagerie of creatures attacked, dragging enemy soldiers into the shadows. Dar's arrow found its mark, and Merrick wielded his sword with newfound purpose. Leora raced to the front, her heart ablaze. Dar's keen eyes saw an arrow's deadly path. Suddenly, they both lay on the ground. There was silence. The silence was broken by a rumble as the ground began to quake. Amidst the trembling earth, the air thick was with desperation. A mixture of growl, caws, and pitiful cries echoed. Tattered and hysterical, a host of enemy soldiers fled from the forest, their eyes fixed on the distant sea where waiting ships promised escape. But fate had other plans. The villagers, led by Merrick's steadfast men, set those ships ablaze, sealing their doom. Now, Commander Merrick unleashed his wrath. The army he knew so well, soldiers he had personally trained, quivered and trembled. His sword sang in the wind, each stroke a symphony of vengeance. Fighting beside the commander, Elora moved with surprising expertise. He taught her well. She was channeling her pain and the memory of her fallen parents into every swing of her blade. The villagers joined in, their voices rising in an ancient song, a melody of unity and victory. Elara and Commander Merrick raced to the fallen Dar and Leora. They were alive, as Dar had been shielded by armor, and he had saved Leora from the arrow's wrath. The two young women embraced as sisters, and Dar and Merrick clasped hands. They all stood together and surveyed the carnage. The enemy lay defeated, scattered across the land. It was now that Leora looked to the heavens and closed her eyes in a silent prayer of thankfulness. None of the invading army was left. Even the ashes of their once mighty ships crumbled into the sea. Soon the cheers and words of thankfulness flooded the commander, Dar, and the others. Over time, the villagers crowned Elora and Leora as conquering queens. Leora hesitated, but Elora insisted. Her courage had saved their realm. As for Commander Merrick, that unknown feeling stirred within him. He smiled at Elora, vowing to protect the land if they would have him. Unanimously, the villagers welcomed Merrick and his men as friends and as one of them. Leora was also elated. She impulsively grabbed Darcy's hand. He smiled as fledgling love was blooming in both their eyes amidst the ruins. Together, they rebuilt the land, weaving peace, equity, unity, and love into its very fabric. For this day, and forevermore, the forces of evil would remember and know that this land would be protected with the power of courage and repented hearts.